Day.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.
Pete Sweeney, Director of Operations at United Tool and Die Company in West Hartford.
Managing computer network downtime and security are top priorities for Pete, but he had a serious problem with his MSP, Managed Service Provider.
We were paying them approximately $130,000 a year. This left no funding for infrastructure upgrades or repairs.
So Pete called an ASP, Tab Computer Systems, an actual service provider.
Tab went through everything with us, explained what services they offered, and provided us with a price that was significantly less than what we were currently paying.
Now Pete can say,
the money that we're saving monthly, we're able to put that money into future infrastructure upgrades to update our IT and security.
Call Tab today, 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, or visit tabinc.com. Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
This is WTIC's Computer Talk with Tab, hosted by Erik Semmel and Dennis Halnon of Tab Computer Systems. Interact with Erik and Dennis by phone at 860-522-9842 or email them in the studio at gethelp@tabinc.com. Get help anytime at computertalkwithtab.com. Now, here are Erik and Dennis on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And good morning. This is Computer Talk with Tab. I'm Erik.
And I'm Dennis.
And we are here till 11 o'clock, and we will take your computer problems, comments, questions, and concerns until 11 o'clock, starting it now. Feel free to get online, 860-522-9842. Again, 860-522-9842 is the number. And we will do our best to help you out with your computer problems, comments, questions, and concerns. But yesterday, I just want to give you a quick little story. I spent all day with 300 of the actual makers in Connecticut.
Oh, very nice.
The Connecticut Tool and Machining Association members.
Aha.
We were ruining a good walk by whacking a bunch of balls around a golf course. Man, I have a long way to go with whacking those balls. But I just, again, I'm out with people on this golf course who actually make things in Connecticut. Right?
They do make things in Connecticut?
We do, and I joke.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I joke a lot about,
Imagine that.
I hear we make great pizza because that's what the state of Connecticut thinks we should market so that the Utes stick around. Despite the fact that my youngest is saying, "Dad, I can see my breath," because he can't afford electricity to keep his domicile warm enough. But the state of Connecticut says, "Oh yeah, pizza, man. I'll keep him here." No, it's folks like the Connecticut Tool and Machining Association. Of course, we have many clients that are part of that association. I was able to say hello to them, and I just got to thinking, it's like, we make great pizza? No, we make airplane parts and howitzer parts and, and nuclear submarine parts and all sorts of amazing components of what goes in engines that all go into actually making the whole country work. And it just seems like an insult to say we make great pizza. It just bothers me to no end, as you can imagine, you can tell, when it comes down to actually seeing people in Connecticut make stuff, period. And they were great folks, and it was an enjoyable day. One of our guys in my foursome at Tab, one of our engineers, actually got a hole-in-one.
Oh!
Yes, on the closest to the pin. He couldn't get much closer. I witnessed it myself. It was like a par 3 and boop, boop, right in the hole. And so
wow.
Congratulations to Terry for that. But it was a great day. And again, it just got me thinking so much about this stupid marketing campaign of we make great pizza versus we got great companies in Connecticut that make great stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can actually have a great career and work with really nice people and very successful people. And the state just, it's not helping them.
No.
They are always making it difficult to operate in Connecticut. So it was a great Friday. I'm a little tired. I don't know how to play the game of golf. It's not really a game. It's a torture mechanism of some kind. But it was a great day out there on the golf course. So, now in other news, Dennis, you want to talk about some technology news?
I do.
What do you got going on?
You may remember the Wemo product line
Yes.
of IoT devices, plugs and light bulbs and switches, power switches, not networking switches.
Right, Internet of Things.
Stuff like that, little appliances that were managed through the cloud, through Belkin's Wemo service.
To make your house smart.
Right. You had thermostats, all kinds of stuff. Okay. Well, and the Wemo product line has been out for a long time. I think it's like 15 years old, and it was pervasive at one time. It was, for a lot of people, it was pretty much the only type of managed device that they could get to start out in that field, if you will.
Right, be able to flip a light off and on through your smartphone.
Right. Well, it turns out that Belkin is pretty much done with Wemo, and they're going to shut down their Wemo management services.
So everybody who's got a Wemo product.
So it's going to be not manageable anymore.
It's ridiculous.
Now, a lot of these things like, I guess a thermostat. I mean, you could probably still set a temperature on it physically. And
that's
leave
like
it
the
at
old
that.
days.
Right. I mean, it's just an old-fashioned, thermostat
Setback.
from 50 years ago.
Right.
And it'll still work, at least for that. But all of the management features that people actually bought and were paying for are going to be gone because they don't want to keep that service up and running. They're going to shut down those servers. Yeah,
Google's doing the same thing with their Gen 2 Nests. And people that have the Gen 2 Nest won't be able to interface in October. And that really makes me angry.
Yeah.
Those things are expensive.
Yes, they are.
And they're going to have the service keep running. So if you have a Gen 3 Nest, oh, lovely, it'll work. But your Gen 2 that you spent nearly $300 on to manage your energy.
$300.
Yeah, those Gen 2s are expensive. Maybe a little less. And you had some technician install it for you because back then it was pretty complicated. They still are pretty complicated. Now it's not going to work. And it'll work, to your point, if you can set the temperature. But no, if you want to set the temperature from 1,000 miles away, which is the real benefit of dealing with smart thermostats, you can't do it anymore as of October. And we'll have to buy another $300 thermostat.
Right. And that's part of the problem here. You can buy a great device that works really well, and you spent a lot of money on it, but there's going to come a day when the manufacturer just says, nah, you can't have that today anymore.
Right. It's almost
we're done.
It's almost like the manufacturers are trying to figure out how to market Internet of Things devices the way they seem to market shoes to my wife. How can we get them to keep buying more? And it's ridiculous. So you invest your time and energy. I mean, I think I've got 3 or 4 different smart applications for different switches and different cameras and different thermostats, and it's just kooky how many apps I have to manage this.
Same here. I mean, I have one app to manage my washing machine.
Yes.
And then I have another one to manage my power switches in the house.
Yes.
And then I've got another one to manage my door camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all just kind of a puzzle and mix and match of everything.
We need one app to rule them all. And in the darkness bind them. We'll see.
We could call it the One Ring app.
Yes, the one true app. All right, another news. I saw this and was like, this is another thing that drives me nuts. So, a major U.S. power operator says AI and data center demands are pushing prices up. Well, surprise, surprise.
Well, we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, we had an expert on our...
We had an expert talking about it.
Peter
twice.
Kelly Detweiler has not been on our show. We'll have him on again.
Yeah.
But PJM's territory are expected to increase 20% this summer. And they handle 65 million customers. 65 million customers.
Wow.
Yeah. 13 states. And they are saying because of AI and data centers, your prices are going to go up 20%. Now, I would contend that makes no economic sense. I understand we talked about here in Connecticut because we don't even understand how electricity works.
Right.
But for states that do understand it, why are you not charging AI and data centers a premium to suck mass quantities of electricity off the grid and not impact 65 million customers. Your customers that are just regular customers like Dennis and I, right, shouldn't be paying a premium because you've got other customers sucking mass quantities of energy in that way. Period. It should be, they should be paying the freight.
Well, yeah, of course, but that's not how it works.
Only because some ding-dong in some sort of political role is interfacing and allowing these energy monopolies to do this. It makes absolutely no sense to charge them a discount for mass quantity of energy consumption. That doesn't give any incentive for them to actually figure out a way to make it, to do whatever they're doing better, faster, cheaper. You should be charging them a premium. That premium would then go toward improving the infrastructure, getting us better ways of powering things, right? And if AI and data centers are the thing, and they're so smart, have them ask their AI how to fix it, right?
Right.
So why the rest of us are going to be hit with 20% increases because of AI and data centers is mind-boggling, and it's backwards. And it just shows you the experts in charge aren't expert at anything, right? You don't discount power to mass consumption of power. You're not selling like hamburgers where if Dennis buys 100 hamburgers, he gets a discount. That's different than energy.
True.
Right?
True. However, even companies that buy mass quantities of burgers as opposed to you and me going into a store, we have to fund whatever the infrastructure or logistics operation that we have to handle that influx of burgers.
Sure.
So, but it sounds like the AI companies are not having to do that when it comes to power.
The tractor trailers.
They don't have to do anything.
Right.
There's no logistical side of it for them to have to contend with.
Right.
All they have to do is turn on a switch and let that server power up.
The tractor trailers with 18 wheels, X number of axles, forgive me, I have no idea, will pay a higher toll than you and I with 4 wheels. So same idea here with AI and data centers. Yes, we want obviously to move forward and see where AI can help us and all that. But why are we always subsidizing these things? If it's such a great idea, earn it yourself.
Right.
Yeah. Pay a higher price for energy. That 20% that would hit 65 million should be a 40% fee on the AI and data centers. And guess what? 65 million customers either have their actual power prices stay the same or go down.
No.
Wouldn't that be a thought?
No.
So I don't know. I'm not the sharpest tack in the drawer. But when it comes to this basic economics, somebody's winning and somebody's losing, and it's always us.
That's true.
And it just doesn't make sense.
Always the losers here.
And it's because we deserve the government we voted for is why we keep losing. Because, again, there's a political interface, as in case of Pura here in Connecticut, because clearly we don't understand how electricity works in Connecticut. Yeah. And here in this other interconnected thing with PJM, we're 20% higher electricity bills because of AI and data centers. Doesn't make sense to me. We're going to step out for a quick break. We're going to get to your calls, 860-522-9842. And also, we have great pizza here in Connecticut, right? We make great pizza. But if you have any thoughts of what else we do better in Connecticut that might make the Utes stay, what else is great about Connecticut than the pizza? I'd love to hear that, too. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Did you ever come home on a hot day, open your door, and your air conditioner just doesn't feel right? That's a real summer bummer. Say, come on into Campbell. From a simple seasonal tune-up or an air conditioner repair to the installation of a much more cost-efficient cooling system, Campbell's got the cool tools. Veteran-owned and managed, Campbell Heating and Cooling. Visit CampbellCooling.com.
Campbell Cooling uses all major name brands, including American Standard and Mitsubishi heating and cooling equipment. Let our expert technicians cool your home this summer.
Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. Whether we like to admit it or not, we're all getting a little bit older each day. And as we get older, we need products to make our lives easier and safer, especially in the bathroom. From safety grab bars, shower seats, and handheld shower systems, Modern Plumbing Supply is the place to get your quality safety products at affordable prices. Modern Plumbing Supply showroom on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin. Products to make your life safer every day.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
Low testosterone affects many men today, even men as young as 30. But finding someone you can trust for quality low T treatment isn't so easy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice. And that's why I'm pleased to announce the opening of our newest location of Northeast Men's Health right here in Warwick. As a ProMedic affiliate, Northeast Men's Health has the experience and expertise to get you the right treatment for your particular medical situation. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone. In fact, we've successfully treated thousands of men for low T and have seen the amazing impacts low T treatments have. If you're like most men, you'll sleep better, have more energy and improve mental clarity, get better gains in the gym, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
From the Carter Mario Injury Lawyer Studios, visit GetCarter.com.
That's GetCarter.com. This is Computer Talk.
And we're back. You know, the folks at, Elon, Grok AI 4.0, the stuff that's sucking all the energy out of the planet here, they're going to charge people $300 a month subscription to that AI technology.
Whoa.
If you can afford that, and if you're going to charge people that, why would we have to be impacted by the energy consumption of your product? It should be fine. You want to charge $350 per month to cover the cost of your power. Go ahead. But don't have it impact my energy bill. It just doesn't make any economic sense how it's allowed. It's just crazy. It doesn't make any sense. We should be charging a premium, improving our grid, improving our sources, all on the back of AI and data center, not on 65 million customers, like there seems to. And of course, the article, if you read it further, well, if they only had more solar power, it would be better. Look, guys, go ask Spain how they did with their solar power, right? Spain, Portugal, the whole country went out. So that's not a solution either.
Yeah.
It's not a solution either. So feel free to get online. 860-522-9842 is the number. We're here till 11 o'clock, taking your computer calls, comments, questions, and concerns. And we're also simulcasting on our Facebook page over at computertalkwithtab.com. It's the Computer Talk with Tab Listener Network on Facebook. If you want to join, just ask. And if you're generally not a crackpot, we'll let you in, right, Dennis?
That's right.
And we're on the YouTubes, and you can follow us there as well. So everything's there. And everything we've talked about so far has been posted over to our website. So as we're waiting for your calls, 4 lines wide open on this Saturday morning. We'll go to another story. Anything you want to bring up there, Dennis?
Yeah, down in Virginia, the great state of Virginia.
Yes, sir.
They are dealing with the problem of the youth and social media.
The youths again.
Back in May, the governor signed a law that requires social media companies there to allow minors, and I think the definition of minor is 16 and under.
Okay.
Only 1 hour of social media use per day.
It's like almost cold turkey. Right?
Yeah, I mean, 1 hour is almost nothing, right?
Yeah, right.
Especially for a kid who's got nothing better to do than suck up
Which is the sad
Facebook
thing.
and TikTok.
That nothing better to do is the sad thing.
But at any rate, just on July 1st, that law started to kick in, and there are now legal requirements that social media companies will have to meet over the next few months. I believe the actual requirement is going to have to be met by the end of this year.
Why does it take them so long?
Well, they've got a. They just signed it in May.
Yeah.
And social media companies have to build whatever they need to build in order to manage the youth's time.
Mm-hmm.
The youths.
The youths. The youths.
On their services. So yeah. I would assume that there is some buildup that needs to be done.
All right.
But at any rate, and I brought that up because we talked about age verification for porn.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
And in this case, that's being coupled with the time limit because the Facebook and TikTok, they're going to have to know who the 15-year-olds are that are using their service and that they're in Virginia.
Yes.
And they're going to have to follow that requirement. However they need to do it, they're going to have to implement that.
Right.
So it's actually more than one requirement being imposed by a state at one time.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I was a kid, and you wanted to get let's say a Call of Duty style video game, and I was under the age of 17. My mom had to go ahead and go up to the register,
right,
and say, "Yep, yeah, I know he's only 16, but let him have it." And so that was something that we had to do way back in the olden days. And now with this, if you're logging in to social media, as opposed to porn, which you don't log into,
right?
So just so you understand, guys, the simple solve for the porn issue is forcing a login. Not a solve 100%. I know. But it's a better move. So in this case, in your login into social media, you can be more verified because you have to log into it to say who you say you are before you'll be given the access to the actual product. And I can see that no VPN is going to solve this because you're going to be a resident of Virginia. Now all of these social media companies have to actually deal with where you're from.
Right.
And as part of your login. So that's at least a better step. So the folks in Virginia have a better understanding as to how to get this more secure than the rest of these dinglings who are regulating porn, which, come on, guys. If you just tell the porn folks you have to be a logged-in user before you can see the content, it would solve this issue rather fast. More quickly. It'd be the right step. It won't solve anything. What am I talking about? Who knows? Porn built the internet. We're going to be here until 11 o'clock, so feel free to get online. 3 lines open for you. 860-522-9842 is the number. 3 lines wide open on this Saturday morning here in Connecticut. Everything we've talked about has been posted over at computertalkwithtab.com. It's the name of the show.com, which also works. And again, on our Facebook page, even if you follow us on X, all these stories will get there for you. So you don't have to hunt and peck and Google it. You can actually find it via the links. So, Lori, hang on. We're going to go to the news and then get back to your calls. This is Computer Talk. We'll be right back.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
9:30, Hartford temperature 74 degrees. I'm Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News. In traffic, we have a crash that just popped up involving 3 vehicles down in Meriden on the northbound side of the Wilbur Cross Parkway between exits 67 and 68N. The right lane is closed. President Trump spoke about the, quote, anguish of our nation after he and First Lady Melania went to the Texas site of severe and deadly flooding last week. He went there Friday to speak with flood victims, rescuers, and local officials. In Waterbury, Hearst, Connecticut newspapers report the early morning shooting Friday in Waterbury on Willow Street took the life of 17-year-old Charisma Fox, whose brother was fatally shot in Waterbury 4 years ago. On the Connecticut Election Watch, Governor Lamont says that he'll take a few more months to announce whether or not he's going to seek a third term, despite progressive Democratic State Rep Josh Elliott filing paperwork this week to run for governor. Lamont filed his paperwork to seek a second term in November of 2021, a year before that election. Attorney Kevin Smith says that he's recommended his client, Raul Valley, keep a low profile after walking this week on murder and other serious charges in the Shelton House Party murder trial. Valley, who was 16 years old at the time, claimed self-defense. The state could try him on lesser charges on which the jury deadlocked and the judge declared a mistrial. Preliminary findings into last month's Air India plane crash suggest that the aircraft lost fuel by not having the fuel control switches turned on, causing a loss of life after the loss of engine thrust, and the plane crashed into a mountain after takeoff.
WTIC weather.
Clouds breaking for some sunshine today, warm and humid, the high 86. Then mostly cloudy again tonight, down to 67. Clouds break for some sunshine for tomorrow, warm and sticky up to 85. Then Monday, mostly cloudy, warm and humid. We likely start out dry, but we'll see a couple of heavy gusty thunderstorms cross the area in the afternoon. The high Monday, 83. This is meteorologist John Erik in the WTIC Weather Center.
And I'm Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
You know, I couldn't stop talking about it to my family and friends. My knees are my trouble spot. But for me to tell them now that I'm doing so much better, they were amazed, and I've been amazed.
QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies. Yes, it is amazing how these non-surgical treatments deliver joint pain relief for patients like Dr. Erik Williams, a successful chiropractor.
Each week I just started noticing that I could sleep and not have pain. I could play pickleball. I could do a CrossFit exercise routine.
QC Kinetics revitalizes your joints so you can move again without the pain pills or invasive surgery.
You know, I'm 60 years old and I want to stay competitive as long as I can. And QC has allowed me to do that. They did me right and really made a difference in my life.
Book your free consultation with QC Kinetics today and experience the difference for yourself.
I like to go, move, move, move.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040. 800-408-4040.
The following is a paid commercial advertisement.
From the Wall Street Sweeper Money Desk, Russ Hackman, president of Hackman Wealth Partners. Russ, why do some advisors push so much risk?
It's a dirty little secret out there that some advisors can get paid more in order to keep your investments in riskier areas, as opposed to moving them to areas where you might get more consistent income over time or have less market exposure. Get a second opinion on that.
For a comprehensive review, no cost, no obligation, 860-321-6800. 860-321-6800. 860-321-6800.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Discussion of safe and secure products and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products and are subject to the claims-paying ability of the insurance company.
The Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman, Sunday mornings at 9:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And we are back. And we're here till 11. Feel free to get online. 3 lines open for you. 860-522-9842 is the number. And I know I was kind of talking a little earlier. I was able to golf with the folks here in Connecticut that actually make stuff on Friday. The Connecticut Tool and Machining Association. And but here in Connecticut, we just talk about how we make great pizza. And, well, that's lovely and all. It really is not going to have folks, hey, I'm going to go to Connecticut and pay some of the highest prices to live there because they make great pizza. No, you want to come to Connecticut because we have some of the smartest people not running the electricity grid. That's a whole other group. I don't know who those people are, but some of the smartest people in Connecticut running amazing companies, making amazing parts for amazing companies. So that's why you want to come to Connecticut, to work with those types of people. But let's go on to your calls. We're going to go to Lori first here in Deep River. Hey, Lori, what's up?
Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. Kind of drizzly out still here.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. We still need the rain. We don't make just great pizza. We really do make the best pizza. Straighten you out here. Just to clarify.
That's fine.
We make the best pizza. You go anywhere else in this wonderful country, and it's like, ooh, this is cardboard. Anywho.
Is it? But my point is, though, is it compelling enough to draw you to the state? The state of Connecticut is actually marketing it like that, Lori. I'm not going to argue that we make great pizza, but is it compelling enough to have some nice recent graduate of, I don't know, some university to say, you know what, I want to go live there because of that?
No, they're not coming here.
They're not coming here.
I know.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We need a better marketing.
Yeah, but we need to market something else. You're right. Oh, my God. Now, as far as AI, and then I'll get to my other question, I've talked to you guys before about our security system and how it showed us our pet bobcat that comes through in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I really love AI. When I go out in the morning, it says that I'm my husband.
Oh.
It recognizes me as my husband. Now, granted, we've been married for more than 40 years.
I did hear that starts to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But, I mean, he's bald. I've got a braid down my back, and it still recognizes me as him. So AI is wonderful.
Yeah. It's not quite there yet. Not quite there yet.
No, not quite there yet. I don't want to pay for that. Now, the real question that I have, Al's got an old Windows Surface Go 2.
Mm-hmm.
3, 4, maybe. I don't know. Not that old. He does not like an Android. Okay, and I have the apples in the house. I love my apples, but they are very expensive.
Yeah.
But I don't work with Microsoft. It doesn't compute with my brain.
Mm-hmm.
But the one he has, it's an absolute dog. It has an incredibly slow startup. It's constantly doing these frelling updates. I'm assuming that's just a Windows thing, but let's do another, 2 a week. Let's do another update, and the settings that you had are now gone.
Yeah.
A good replacement?
Well, if he doesn't want Android, that would be the best replacement. That's my. I know.
The Windows Go.
Well, again, Windows is not something that for a tablet is something that I would recommend at all. I would do everything to get away from a Windows operating system if I had a tablet to use. And since most things on tablets are all appified anyways, I would contend he's not writing a novel on this thing, right? So
no, he's scrolling internet. He's looking at maps so that we can plot out our rides, coffee runs.
All right, I would tell you to consider Android only because it's a great stable operating system.
Yep.
And Samsung makes a great tablet. I've had 2 of their tablets, and they've caused no trouble.
Those things are banging, as they say.
Mm-hmm, as the Utes say. And, of course, Pixel has a tablet, too, which I've never tried, but the Google folks do, too. But I think the Samsung folks seem to have it right. So take a look at the latest Samsung tablets that are out there. Go over to some big box store. Check it out. But,
you have an Android on... What is that? That's a
Motorola.
Yeah, we've got an old Motorola G5 Android that we still use.
Wow, that's really old.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not a phone. We use it to play music in the car and look at maps and stream some internet. So, because I know you scroll on that all the time. So, it's nice and small and still works without a Surface.
Yeah, I hear you. So that's why we tell you to stick to Android for this kind of stuff, and you might have a better result. and not deal with the updates and the service packs and the reboots. I mean, the fact that Microsoft even got in the business of making hardware, along with the fact that they make software, was just simply to copy Apple.
Yeah.
And they didn't do a very good job of it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, those Surface tablets are, they're a support nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
For all the reasons that you said.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't called on anything because once you can actually get it to work, to wake up, let's pour some more coffee on the circuit board, it mostly does what he wants to do, but every now and then it's like, I didn't touch that. Why did you go there? Screen is just so frickin' fussy sometimes.
Yeah, they can be fussy, all right. Those are computers, Microsoft computers specifically.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Lori.
Thank you so much. Have a good Saturday. Have a good weekend.
You too.
And pizza for lunch.
You got
tonight,
it.
right?
You got it.
I'm making pizza for dinner tonight, I guess. Okay.
Nice. All right, Lori.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. I bet you Lori makes really good pizza.
I'm sure.
Well, the other thing about the whole thing about pizza in Connecticut, and this is what I've just heard, I mean, it's coal-fired is the reason it's such good pizza, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, but the environmentalists don't like the coal-fired pizza. Like, they're trying to shut it down in New York. It's like, it's almost like not having the proper gas ovens. So wouldn't that be ironic? I don't even have to say it. But wouldn't that be ironic if they shut down coal-fired pizza because of the pollution it produces to make your pizza?
No. Don't even. Oh, I don't.
It's New Haven. It could happen.
I'm not disputing that, but come on, man.
It's crazy. It is what it is. All right, let's go on to Bob in Hebron next. What's going on, Bob?
Morning, guys.
Morning.
And Eric, congratulations on your budding golf career. It's been having me tear my hair out for my whole life.
Oh, man. It's such a hard game.
Yeah. And when it's easy, it's hard. Okay, my question is about just the other day, I've got a couple of computers, and I thought, I'd like to share something using OneDrive between them. So I put something on OneDrive on one of my computers, and it's just sitting there, and it says status is sync pending.
Sync pending,
and it doesn't show up on my other computer when I look on OneDrive.
That seems to happen with OneDrive now and then. It just kind of loses its oomph.
Really?
And it
Technically speaking.
It just decides that it's not going to move that file. There are a couple things you can do with OneDrive on your computer to kind of give it a kick in the pants and start up again.
So you see this pretty often?
Yeah, we get it.
Mm-hmm.
We get it. There's a reset method that Microsoft even has an article about, and we can post that article for you and tell you how to handle that. But what it will do is it'll just cause the service to re-register everything that it needs to look at, and then it should start, moving that file again.
Yeah, so even though it knows the sync is pending, and even though it knows it's been pending for X number of days, hours, weeks, it doesn't know how to run the actual utility that Microsoft has to get the sync to actually work. It needs human intervention.
Correct. It knows
gotta press
there's
the any
something
key.
wrong, and it's telling you that because it's telling you that that's the status of the file.
Right.
But it doesn't know enough to say, oh, okay, I got to do this, and then do it.
But the same tool is then touted by Microsoft as a way to back up your equipment. Hey, do you have OneDrive syncing? Well, no. You say it's pending. I mean, it's crazy, but we'll put the link up there to that, Bob.
Oh, okay. So now the computer where I put the file on OneDrive, and that's the one that's saying sync pending.
Yep.
Once it gets bumped off being sync pending and it graduates all the way to, like one of the other ones says, available status, available when online. So to make it graduate up to that, once it makes it to that, should it show up on my other computer
Yes.
in OneDrive?
Yes, that's
Okay.
that's what will happen.
Okay. And OneDrive doesn't have its own login, right? That's just when you basically log into your computer, your Windows computer. When you boot that up and log into it, that's the same as logging into OneDrive, right?
Well, yes. If you're logging into the computer with a Microsoft account, I assume that is what OneDrive is using.
Mm-hmm.
And once you've logged in and authenticated to the service, that authentication is saved on the computer, and then OneDrive uses that to communicate with their cloud and connect it up with your account.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how it's all designed to work.
Yeah.
And for the most part, it does work right. Except for the times when OneDrive decides that it's not going to move the file. Even though it knows that it has to move it.
Yeah, it knows it.
Because the sync is pending.
Yep.
And it's just pending.
It's just pending.
I'm laughing about it, but I see this all the time, and it's funny.
It is.
It really is funny.
You know, but I hear Grok is going to rule the world and with their AI and be able to tell us, the next cure cancer in 20 minutes, right? Whereas sync pending can't figure out how to start itself up. It just doesn't compute for me. So.
Okay, and one other quick question. Have you put up a link lately with the instructions for how to change your settings to get OpenDNS?
Probably not lately, but we'll put it up today. We're happy to.
Okay, terrific. Well, thank you very much. Once again, you've saved me from tearing out even more hair than I tear out because of golf.
I hear you, Bob.
We both hear you.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you. All right. So Bob's going to go ahead and sync his file. We're going to step out for a quick break. 4 lines open for you. 860-522-9842 is the number. We'll be right back.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Most tire dealers will sell Bridgestone tires, but Town Fair Tire sells Bridgestone tires for an unbeatable combination of the guaranteed lowest price and the most free services for life. Town Fair is New England's largest name brand discount tire dealer. So when you're in the market for a new set of Bridgestone tires, get to Town Fair Tire, because nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. And I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Hi, I'm Jerry Puya from Between Rounds Bakery Sandwich Cafe. This new sandwich I'm about to announce will knock your socks off. It's called the Raging Bull. I don't know why, but Rocky Balboa pops into my head. The Raging Bull is an overstuffed sandwich of roast beef, pastrami, pepper jack cheese, Hellman's ancho chipotle sauce, and get this, potato chips. That's right, potato chips on the sandwich. This sandwich is packed with flavor, heat, and crunch. Amazing. For June and July, Between Rounds will donate $1 from each Raging Bull sold to the Hockanum Valley Community Council Food Pantry. You will love this sandwich, and we will love supporting such a great organization. Between Rounds Bakery Sandwich Cafe, with locations in Vernon, Manchester, South Windsor, East Windsor, and Tolland. We'd love to see you. Visit BetweenRoundsBagels.com for franchise information and to order online.
A savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between Rounds. Between Rounds. Between Rounds. Between Rounds. Tastes so good. Between Rounds.
All right, we are back. We're just talking about we make great pizza a little bit here off hours. And Carolyn says it's Greek pizza.
Right.
It's not the
It's
coal-fired.
not the coal-fired pizza.
What'd she
it's
call
the
it?
Greek pizza.
Called it crack. What did she call it? Cracker sauce on a cracker. Sauce on a cracker. See, the funny thing is, I've never even had any of that New Haven pizza.
No.
No, it's
well,
pizza.
it is good.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
But even me, a Connecticutian, who lives in the middle of a state, hasn't decided to hop in the car and make a pilgrimage to New Haven to get
coal-fired pizza.
Yeah, sauce.
You
on
don't
cracker.
even need to drive to New Haven anymore.
No,
for
no,
that.
they're
There's
local
a whole
now.
bunch of them. Yeah, all over the state.
I mean, that's kind of part of my point. Is it really marketable if even a guy who lives here, who looks like me, who's had a few pizzas, wouldn't even be attracted to go buy I don't know. I'm sure I'm a ding dong missing out on the pizza, but it is what it is. Let's go up. We had some callers in there. Where'd they go? Karen was trying to take some calls. So as we wait for your calls to come in, and she picks up the folks who are calling in. Anything you want to talk about there, Dennis? I heard McDonald's had an issue.
Oh, yes. This was a Mc debacle.
Yikes.
They have a hiring service that includes a chat bot.
It's primarily a bot.
Right, and it is mostly a bot that they use for interviews and stuff and getting applications and all of that. And it turns out that a lot of that data that was collected up in the form of all those chats was dumped into a database.
Of how many records?
And tons of records.
64 million.
64 million records.
It's crazy.
And there was an account that was attached to it.
Yes.
It was actually a test account.
Mm-hmm.
They set up a test franchise to get into the service and work with it. Okay.
Yeah. And they use Paradox AI.
Yes. And the username and password both for this test account
were very complicated, right, Dennis?
Very complex.
And had 2FA.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
For both of them.
For both the username and the password.
Ba 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 ba.
And bang, all of that data is available to you
65 million.
Just for putting in those sequences of numbers.
And you got to get past this bot in order to become an employee of McDonald's, which is a great company. But this is, again, it's just breathtaking. And who knows what kind of data that bot is intaking? It's, probably your name, address, and I hope you could get was it Social Security numbers too that are possibly in here, Dennis?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe those were in there.
So, what a mess. We'll put the link up here. There's a lot of stories. Wired has a story on it. I'm not sure where you got yours.
I got mine from TechSpot.
All right. So, yeah, probably put the TechSpot out there because sometimes Wired had a paywall. But,
yeah, that's true.
But it's crazy. A username of 1234556 and a password of 1234556 with 65 million records of people who would like to apply to McDonald's.
I got the same combination on my luggage.
There you go. So at least the TSA can get in there and check out your socks. But yeah, I mean, it's this kind of stuff, and this is the year 2025, and I guess this security researchers came upon it, right? They were just poking around. This is what these security researchers do. It's not even like they have to work hard to find it.
No, and you're right. That's what they do. I mean, there are researchers just trolling the internet constantly looking for anything like this.
Right.
So if you're dumb enough to leave that test account connected to a live database with credentials that bad, then somebody's going to come across it and they're going to embarrass you.
Yeah.
All they have to do is, I mean, I get setting up a test account to, work out the kinks of something, but you turn off the account when you're not using it anymore.
I have a story.
How hard is it?
I have a story for you on this then, if Kevin we'll wait for a second. So basically, Tab has a product called Patrol Dog, and Patrol Dog was designed to watch servers.
Yes.
And basically, because TJ was a programmer, this is how the story of Patrol Dog's birth came up. So basically, this is probably 20 years ago now. We were hired by a venture capital company to actually. He goes, Eric, we just had the server installed by some high-power company down in Fairfield County. You guys don't need to look at the server. I just want you to support our workstations. Okay, fine. That's 20 years ago. Happy to do so, sir. Well, what happens 3 months into the relationship is their server crashes.
No.
Yeah. Who do they call?
Tab.
Us. They call us. Yep. Okay. So we run out there, wait for Dell to bring the hard drives out, put the hard drives in, load the operating system, get it ready to go, and we say, okay, give me your backup tapes. And back in the old days, 20 plus years ago, we used tapes. They had 26 tapes in their rotation. So, yeah, they're a smart, high-powered venture capital company. City Place is where they were, beautiful building, one of the tallest buildings in Connecticut. And so we asked them for their latest backup. All right, here's the 26th tape. Blank.
No.
25th tape. Blank.
What?
24th tape. Blank.
No.
Every single tape was blank. The office manager dutifully swapped it out. But the people who originally set up in the same point of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they just set up a temp thing to have it temporarily do a quick backup, but never scheduled the backup, and they told us not to look. So we developed Patrol Dog to save our clients from themselves. Because we're like, you didn't even look? You didn't even ask? Don't touch your server. Well, now we're doing it. So that's how Patrol Dog's birth came. We don't program it anymore ourselves, but we were one of the first on the planet to have an RMM tool that actually worked. So we're going to be here until 11 o'clock. Kevin, hang on in Simsbury there. 3 lines open for you guys. 860-522-WTIC is the number, and we will get to your calls. Any kind of comments, questions, and concerns. And if you think we make something better than pizza, let me know.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Hey, Yard Goats fans, get ready for a thrilling season of baseball. And make sure you don't miss a single pitch, because this year, no goat gets left behind. Whether you're at home or on the road or out with friends, you can stream every game, every inning, and every unforgettable moment anytime and anywhere, exclusively on the Odyssey app. So wherever you are and whenever you want, the Yard Goats are just a tap away. Don't miss a second of the season. Powered by Verizon. For a limited time, get their best price ever. Drop into your local Verizon store today to learn more.
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. So when you've spent too much on a night out, get deals on the after party. When you've got date night, get deals on favorites that'll make you their favorite. And when you've got family for the weekend, we've got breakfast.
Having options tastes better. Enjoy a refreshing Coke Zero included in either the $5 hot and spicy McChicken meal deal or the $6 McDouble meal deal. Price and participation may vary. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
WTIC 1080 News. In Hartford, we have a temperature of 74 degrees, and we've got a little to talk about on the road. So let's take a look at traffic. In Meriden, still dealing with that 3-vehicle crash on the northbound side of the Wilbur Cross Parkway between exits 67 and 68N. The right lane is closed. In Lisbon, we have a vehicle fire in eastern Connecticut in that town on I-395 southbound between exits 21B and 18. The right lane is closed. President Trump has just announced that he is levying tariffs of 30% on the European Union and Mexico. He announced those tariffs on 2 of the U.S.'s biggest trade partners in letters posted to his social media account. Asked about his re-election, Governor Lamont says he's going to wait a few more months until the early fall to make a decision and announcement. The governor received a possible challenge from within a faction of his own party this week. Progressive Democratic State Representative Josh Elliott filed his paperwork to run for governor, and we'll talk more about his campaign on Monday this week. Facing a murder charge, Raul Valley testified in his own defense, and it worked for him. Valley was acquitted this week in the killing of Fairfield Prep student Jimmy McGrath at a Shelton house party in 2022. His defense attorney, Kevin Smith, says that it was a no-brainer for him to take the stand.
In a self-defense case, when you are telling folks that you felt a certain way and you were in such danger, I can think of very few instances where there would be enough other evidence to put it on and say that you had a self-defense claim. I think that a defendant in most cases is going to need to take the stand.
Valley told the jury he was defending himself when he stabbed 4 other teens, including McGrath, who died. The jury foreperson says the case turned on prosecutors not proving Valley had an intent to kill. He was found not guilty on murder and other charges. The jury deadlocked on reckless manslaughter and reckless assault. The state could decide to re-prosecute Valley on those charges. A mother whose daughter was shot and killed in Waterbury Friday early morning lost her son to gun violence 4 years ago. The latest victim in that family is identified as 17-year-old Charisma Fox, who was a senior at the Enlightenment School. Police say that there was a disturbance involving a group on Willow Street before 3 in the morning, at which time the girl was shot. New Haven police are investigating a deadly Friday night shooting. Officers went to the area of Lombard and Maltby Streets around 7:15 in the evening on the report of a shooting. Police say a 44-year-old man is dead. His name has not been shared with the public. It's believed the man was attacked in a targeted shooting. There's no word of any suspects or arrests made at this time. Connecticut officials are asking residents to be storm ready. They spoke in Oxford almost a year after the deadly flooding there when 2 people were killed. Public Safety Commissioner Ron L. Higgins.
We're going to ask you today to sign up for alerts, have an evacuation plan, and make sure you have a transistor radio. Put together a go bag. Have these conversations in your household at the kitchen table.
WTIC AM 1080 is the primary entry point for the emergency alert system in Connecticut. And Sotheby's is about to auction off one of Apple's very first computers.
The Apple I was one of 50 built in 1976.
That Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak hand-built in Steve Jobs' mom's garage.
Sotheby's Vice Chair Cassandra Hatton.
It's what launched the company, what changed the world.
The computer is in pristine condition and still works. The owner barely used it.
The estimate on this is $400,000 to $600,000.
Hatton says it's a piece of history.
The iPods and the iPhones and the iPads, none of that would have happened if it weren't for this computer that they put together.
The computer goes on the auction block Thursday. Michael Wallace, CBS News for WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clouds breaking for some sunshine today, warm and humid, the high 86. Then mostly cloudy again tonight, down to 67. Clouds break for some sunshine for tomorrow, warm and sticky up to 85. Then Monday, mostly cloudy, warm and humid. We likely start out dry, but we'll see a couple of heavy gusty thunderstorms across the area in the afternoon. The high Monday, 83. This is meteorologist John Erik in the WTIC Weather Center.
Computer Talk with Tab continues in a moment. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. we're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Here's Comedians and Sketchers Getting Comfortable, presented by Hands-Free Skechers Slip-In.
Hey, I'm Bobby Slayton, and I'm here with my pal, comedian, and Skechers ambassador, Mr. Howie Mandel.
Why did it take so long to invent something as amazing as slip-ins?
Maybe because all the inventors were focused on more important inventions, like pet rocks and selfie sticks, and, of course, seedless watermelons. Real important inventions.
But I know it seems simple, but it took Skechers to invent a better pair of shoes.
Yep. With Skechers Slip-ins, you just step in and go. You don't have to touch your shoes, and you do not have to bend down.
And we know how much you hate bending down.
Hey, careful, Howie. Family commercial. And by the way, Slip-ins are for the whole family. Men, women, and kids. In all your favorite Skechers styles, from sneakers to casual shoes to boots, and even sandals.
See, that's what I love about Skechers. They don't discriminate on gender, age, or shoe orientation. Even sandals deserve the best technology. We've come a long way, Bobby, as a society.
Yeah, well, speak for yourself, Howie. And by the way, you can find Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
We were using a managed service provider, MSP.
That's Pete Sweeney, Director of Operations at United Tool and Die Company in West Hartford. His computer services MSP became so costly, there was nothing left for needed system upgrades. Pete took action. He called Tab Computer Systems.
When we looked at Tab and found out that they were an ASP, an actual service provider, and what they included in their monthly cost per user, the services that they offered were right where we needed it to be.
Now Pete gets the services system needs, and he can make those needed upgrades.
They provide us with email and web defense, endpoint protection, server and workstation monitoring, and backup checks. Everything that we were getting with our other provider, but at a much lower cost.
Call Tab, an ASP, actual service provider. No inflated long-term contracts. 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. Or visit tabinc.com. Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
This is WTIC's Computer Talk with Tab, hosted by Erik Semmel and Dennis Halnon of Tab Computer Systems. Interact with Erik and Dennis by phone at 860-522-9842 or email them in the studio at gethelp@tabinc.com. Get help anytime at computertalkwithtab.com. Now, here are Erik and Dennis on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And we are back. This is Computer Talk with Tab. I'm Erik.
And I'm Dennis.
And we are here till 11 o'clock. Two lines open for you. 860-522-9842 is the number. And we'll do our best to help you out with your computer problems, comments, questions, and concerns. And while I hear we make good pizza in Connecticut, what else do we make here in Connecticut? I was able to hang out with folks, the Connecticut Tool and Machining Manufacturing Association here in Connecticut. These guys actually make stuff here in Connecticut.
Make good stuff, too.
And it's amazing stuff that they make, and I was lucky enough to golf with 300 of them, and thankfully it was a scramble. My goodness. But it was a nice day to actually hang out there with the makers here in Connecticut. But let's go on to your calls, and let's go to Kevin in Simsbury. What's going on there, Kevin?
Oh, how you doing today, guys?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good. Long-time listener. And based on just my background is that I'm pretty basic guy in this stuff. And based on your show, I kind of made the move to Proton Mail.
Awesome.
But there's not like a little person to talk to. You get letters back from them sometimes, and they do use some jargon. So what I've got in front of me is make Proton Mail your default email application, set as default. Now, I haven't done it because right now what I do is I use Comcast. I have an Apple phone, iPad, and a MacBook, and that's Safari.
Yeah.
And I have Gmail, and I have two Gmail accounts, and I have them combined somehow, so I get all those emails together.
Yep.
And then it goes to Proton, so it comes out the Proton on my screen.
Yeah.
And okay, so that's what I do. So then it's saying make Proton email your default email application set as default. And I don't know what's going to happen if I do that.
Well, okay. What will mainly happen is if you're on a website and you click on a link that will create a new email, it's called a mail to link, but you don't necessarily see that. But you click on a link, it will open up whichever is your chosen default email client, whether it's a browser or the Proton Mail app. It will open that up and then create a new email in it, and then you would be able to fill that in and send your email. That is the main thing that happens with that selection. And if you want to know how to do that, we can post an article about it, and you can take a look at that. And you've got a Mac, and we've got an Apple support article about doing that.
It's pretty straightforward.
So if it says set as default, and I hit that right now, it is going to take me down a path. I do have a Proton email.
Right.
Yeah.
Number, one that I give out to people and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if I'd made it as a default, if I would lose the Gmail stuff still coming into it.
Oh, no. No. Like I said, this selection that you're making is very, very limited and very specific. And that's the main circumstance where you'll notice it. Okay.
Yeah, it's just saying you want to use Proton Mail as your default mail client,
and that would be for outgoing mail. When you're on a website and it wants to create a new email, that will use the Pro. If you select that as your default, it'll make the Proton Mail be the one that sends it out.
Okay. Yeah. I just, how you don't want to press a button when you go, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Now, now what'll really bake your noodle is you bring down ChatGPT as an app on your smartphone, and you could ask ChatGPT what that meant. I'd be interested to know what the answer would be, but I suspect it'd be exactly what Dennis just said.
Right. Yeah. I've gone to it for some things, so it's pretty powerful.
We really need to start getting into doing more of that, hoping for good results though too. But it's a powerful tool for those types of questions. What does this mean? And sometimes it's going to take you down a weird rabbit hole, but most of the time it'll tell you some basic correct things.
Okay. And they also give me an option to use a Proton VPN.
Yes, sir.
And that, because currently it shows me that I have Comcast cable is my ISP location. Then it gives me an IP address. So that's another not too dangerous flip.
That's a good thing, right? So if you're going to do anything on your computer that you want to have secure, more secure, you would enable the VPN, and instead of coming out of an IP address of whatever Comcast is reporting, you'll end up coming out wherever you tell it to. Like if you wanted to come out via Iceland, you could, right? So whatever you're doing is you could search. Now the problem is if you're looking for a Ford dealership, there might be an Icelandic Ford dealership that you're going to be shown as the closest dealership, right? That becomes a problem.
Right.
But you could choose to set your VPN to be somewhere in the middle of the country, and now when you're online, everything's encrypted. Your communication between you and the interwebs is encrypted, and then of course when you go on to, let's say, a banking site or your financial planning site or whatever you're using, on top of them being encrypted, the fact that you went there was encrypted, as long as the DNS isn't leaking. Which is not the case in Proton. You shouldn't have any.
No, if you're using the Proton VPN application or client, it shouldn't do that.
So it just helps you to be more secure, but it will cause some weird things because, again, wherever you put that VPN to pop out of, that tunnel you're using is going to be, it could be in the West Coast time all of a sudden. So now, even when you post time or post things in these applications, they could be incorrect times because of when you were connected and how you were connected and all that.
Right, and sometimes streaming services will get thrown off, and you might not be able to use them right, or
use them at all.
They'll get sluggish, or they might not even function at all. So VPNs can do weird things to that, and also going to bank websites.
Yeah.
If you are VPNing through another country, they might block you.
Yeah.
If they detect that and say, no, we don't really do business there, so we're not going to let you in.
Right. Which is a good thing.
Right. It's all in favor of your own security. We're just letting you know that these little kinds of snafus can come up and get in your way.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, appreciate it, guys.
All right, Kevin. Our pleasure.
I'll take step 1 and 2.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
You got it. Bye-bye. Kevin's getting defaulted. We're going to go on to a quick break here, and then Frank and Kelly, hang on. 2 lines open for you. 860-522-9842 is the number. We'll be right back.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Jerry Puya from Between Rounds Bakery Sandwich Cafe. It is time to sip into summer at Between Rounds. Like frozen smoothies, we've got strawberry, peach, and mango for you to try. Like iced teas, choose from blackberry sangria, black pearl, red berry and floating lemon, as well as strawberry. All start with freshly brewed Lipton tea. Like coffee-based drinks, we offer fresh brewed iced coffees, several frozen coffee drinks, and of course, cold brewed coffees. Our current featured cold brew is bourbon vanilla. Finally, if you prefer, we offer iced chai. So, you see, come to Between Rounds hot and leave Between Rounds cool. Between Rounds Bakery Sandwich Cafe in Vernon, Manchester, South Windsor, East Windsor, and Tolland. We'd love to see you. Visit BetweenRoundsBagels.com for franchise information and to order online.
A savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between Rounds. Between Rounds. Between Rounds. Between Rounds. Tastes so good.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
From the Carter Mario Injury Lawyer Studios, visit GetCarter.com.
That's GetCarter.com. This is Computer Talk.
All right, we are back. And we're going to be here till 11 o'clock. Let's get to your calls. You're nice enough to join us on this Saturday morning. Going to Kelly in Tolland next. Hey, Kelly. Morning,
Hey,
Kelly.
good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good. Love your show. I've learned a lot.
Awesome, thanks.
So, you want to hear about the fun stuff in Connecticut and what what we make here first or my problem?
Well, yeah. What would you think we should be marketing as to draw the Utes to stay?
What about Brownstone Adventure Park?
That's a good
They have
thing.
rock climbing, zip lines, slides, inflatables, cliff jumps.
All right. Then what are you going to do with the other 53 weekends?
Quasi Amusement Park, Mohegan and Foxwoods. Besides gambling, they have adult go-karts, rock concerts, comedy shows.
There we go.
I think they have a Native American Indian museum there as well.
Yep.
That's still open.
Yeah.
Hiking trails all over the place.
That's true.
And, of course, we make submarines, planes, helicopters.
There you go.
Bigelow tea.
Yeah.
Pez candy.
Oh, right.
Wiffle balls and bats.
All right. Oh, I didn't know about that. Yeah. Ice cream.
Yeah.
So, and hydrilla, but that's another story.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole other controversy.
Yeah.
So what
okay.
else? What's going on?
A few years back, 2022, I bought a new laptop, which then I got busy and I didn't set it up yet. But so it said, oh, it's good to run on Windows 11. It's Intel Core i7 11th generation, so I'm hoping that upgrade will go through okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Should.
And I'm also planning to install a new Office 2024. But in the meantime, I've been chugging along with some of my former my Word documents, but I wasn't using Word and Excel and Outlook and all that other Office stuff or Office 365. So I used WordPad, but I saved it as a docx, or I've created some new documents using WordPad and saved it as docx. If I upgrade to Windows 11 and install Office 2024, will I have access to those files?
You'll have access to the files. WordPad is a different story. Because
I don't need WordPad if I get Office 2024. I just want to make sure I can still access and create, use and save and everything on the WordPad documents I saved as docx.
Well, yeah, because Office 2024 will read that stuff probably better than WordPad does.
Awesome.
WordPad is a very old application, and it probably doesn't support all of the stuff in those formats, but those programs will. So
they're deprecating WordPad?
Yeah, it's going to be. If it isn't already removed from the computer, it will be.
Gotcha.
Yep.
With Office 2024, correct, or with Win 11?
Well, WordPad was included with Windows, and it's going to be removed from Windows. Gotcha. So it doesn't matter what else you install. Microsoft is doing away with it.
Gotcha.
Okay. And do you think my 11th generation Intel Core i7 is going to handle the upgrade?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
11th gen will work fine.
Just make sure your TPM is turned on. Your TPM 2.0.
Make sure what?
Your TPM module's turned on.
He bought it in 22, so it should already be on.
All right.
It was about 2020 when the break point happened, with that being defaulted off as opposed to on.
So good. You should be in good shape.
TPM?
TPM.
So I can double...
Your TPM.
Trusted Platform Module.
Okay. And that would be in my settings, maybe?
It would be in your BIOS.
Okay.
And it would have to be enabled there, but I'm thinking that with the age of that computer, it should already be enabled by default.
That's great.
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right, Kelly.
Made my day.
Awesome.
Hooray.
Yay, hooray. All right, have fun.
All right, thanks. You too.
Yeah, you too. You got an upgrade coming.
Yeah. And there's also a tool we talked about last weekend where you can actually run it to see if you're quote-unquote ready for that upgrade, if your machine's going to be able to do it or not. Let's go on to Frank in Lebanon next. What's happening, Frank?
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. I have an older Dell laptop running Windows 10, and within the last couple of days, my keyboard stopped working. So I got the bright idea this morning. I plugged in a keyboard into the USB connection, and that works.
Look at you.
But,
You're hired.
There you go.
But I've shut the machine down, I turned it back on, and the keyboard doesn't work.
On the one you plugged in, the USB one, or the old one?
No, on the laptop. The
laptop,
keyboard
yeah.
that I plugged into the USB drive works fine.
Right. So on laptops, those do fail, and you can replace them. They are sometimes replaceable components on the laptop. It's not worth the headache to do it, and you really have to be willing to work on the tedious ribbon connectors that are part of a laptop keyboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, some of those little connectors are extremely delicate.
Yeah.
And if you don't remove the original exactly right, you can actually damage the socket, so that even if you get a good working keyboard replacement and plug it in, it might not work.
So if you can use the USB keyboard, if you're fine, if that's not convenient and you need a laptop portability, we give you permission to replace the laptop.
Well, my plan was to replace it anyways because it's not compatible with Windows 11.
There you go.
Oh.
I just wondered if I had accidentally switched it off somehow or something along that line.
Highly doubtful.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right, Frank?
Thanks. Listen, have a good day.
You too, sir. All right, that'd be a rare thing to have a feature like that, but it could exist.
Well, you can disable a keyboard in Device Manager, but that's a lot of steps.
A lot of work. We'll be right back.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new customers can get started with 150 megabit internet for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
10:30, Hartford temperature 74 degrees. I'm Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News. President Trump announces 30% tariffs on the EU and Mexico today, posting letters he's sent those countries to social media for all to read. In Waterbury, Hearst, Connecticut, newspapers report the early morning shooting in Waterbury on Willow Street that took the life of 17-year-old Charisma Fox. She was the sister of her brother who was fatally shot in Waterbury 4 years ago in gun violence. On the Connecticut election watch, Governor Lamont says that he'll take a few more months to announce whether he's deciding to seek a third term, despite Progressive Democratic State Representative Josh Elliott filing paperwork this past week to run for governor. Lamont filed his paperwork to seek a second term in November of 2021, a year before that election for his second term. Attorney Kevin Smith says he's recommending his client, Raul Valley, keep a low profile after walking this week on murder and other serious offenses in the Shelton House Party murder trial. Valley, who was 16 at the time, claimed self-defense. The state could try him on lesser charges on which the jury deadlocked and the judge declared a mistrial. Smith says he would represent him again. Preliminary findings into last month's Air India plane crash suggest that the aircraft's fuel control switches were turned off, causing a loss of engine thrust shortly after takeoff. It crashed into a mountain. There was one lone survivor.
WTIC weather.
Clouds breaking for some sunshine today, warm and humid, the high 86. Then mostly cloudy again tonight, down to 67. Clouds break for some sunshine for tomorrow, warm and sticky up to 85. Then Monday, mostly cloudy, warm and humid. We likely start out dry, but we'll see a couple of heavy gusty thunderstorms cross the area in the afternoon. The high Monday, 83. This is meteorologist John Erik in the WTIC Weather Center.
For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
There's nothing like coming home to a nice, cool house, unless it's not. Say, come on into Campbell. Campbell Cooling is all about service 24/7. Campbell's seasoned expert technicians use all major brands, including American Standard and Mitsubishi, to do the job right. So if you're concerned about what condition your conditioner is in, contact Campbell Cooling. Campbell wants to say thank you to all of our military men and women for their service. Veteran-owned and managed. Visit CampbellCooling.com.
Campbell Cooling uses all major name brands, including American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and Mitsubishi Heating and Cooling Equipment.
If you've been injured, you deserve more than what the insurance company offers you or thinks you're worth. When you get Carter, we'll help you get more. More experience, more attention, and more accessibility. People who hire an attorney get 3 times more on average compared to what big insurance offers them. Their job is to get you to take less. Ours is to get you more. If you've been injured, call the Carter Mario Law Firm at 877-GET-CARTER or head to getcarter.com. to get more.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
All right, we are back. And we're going to be here till 11 o'clock. Feel free to get online. 860-522-9842 is the number. So as we wait for your calls, 4 lines wide open, we do have a news story that's impacted our industry.
Yes.
Ingram Micro, a nearly $50 billion company, was ransomed by the SafePay, gotta love this gang name, SafePay Ransom Gang. And they got into their systems, into a $50 billion IT-based company.
They are a distributor, in case you haven't heard of them.
Right. And companies like ours and many others that are in our business will buy from Ingram Micro. They've been around forever. I've since the beginning of my career, 36 years ago, I've had an account with them, way back when. But they were ransomed, meaning they couldn't sell stuff and deliver stuff, and they were impacted greatly for more than a week. The SafePay gang talks about in their ransom demand of $2.some-odd million, says, hey, we've been in your systems for a while now. You guys have some bad security. Now, this is a technology company.
Right.
And you would assume, because they're selling lots of the same technology and security products that companies like us are going to sell to our customers, that they themselves might have some even NFR copies, if they couldn't afford it as a $50 billion company to put it in themselves, of this technology. So how the ransomware gang got in, and it was poking around. They mentioned possibly through VPN, through Palo Alto, but Palo Alto says, no, they didn't do that. But VPNs are one of the biggest methods that the bad guys get in. And the only reason a VPN is utilized is because somebody didn't configure two-factor authentication as part of the VPN. So a VPN doesn't mean It's the be-all and the end-all of your security. Think of the VPN as tinted windows on your car.
Right.
Right? Your whole car is tinted. Nobody knows who's in the car, but you're driving on the highway. The difference with the VPN, though, is that you're connected directly to the company. You need the second factor that says you can get in the car in the first place. So when you put the key in the car to get into your tinted window car, that key says, hey, wait a minute, are you Dennis? And then something buzzes on your phone and says, I'm Dennis.
Right. Okay,
I'll let you into your tinted window car. And now you can go directly to your company. So what's going on here with Ingram Micro is something should warn all businesses in Connecticut and anywhere that you need to be very vigilant. And I hear it all the time from clients and customers. It's just the expense of the security, right? And a tab is very affordable. But the expense of the security, all the layers you're putting in, all the technologies you're putting in, from EDR, two-factor authentication, security awareness training, email defense, making sure people go on the web safely, web defense, vulnerability scanning, right? You know how many softwares are vulnerable that haven't been patched? That's one of the bigger aspects of folks getting into your systems. So who knows how they got into Ingram? We may never find out. But the point that they were impacted and probably have some of the best security out there should give you pause. Then everyone says, well, Erik, nobody's going after me. I'm not a $50 billion company.
Oh, no.
They're not using direct stuff here. Think of the attacks as being under confetti or watching fireworks and being the fallout, right? You're underneath it. They're sending email spams to everybody.
Right.
And if you click on the wrong link or you click on the wrong payload because they said you have an invoice here, hey, thank you for your order of $1,050. Please click here to pay. Well, you're going to get impacted.
Well, yeah, and while stories like this of ransomware gangs taking over systems, they make the news.
Yeah.
One of the much more common things that happens is what's called business email compromise.
Right.
And all that's taken over is not a network. It's not ransomware. It's not stuff like that. All that happens in one of those is that one single mailbox is taken over by bad guys. And then it's used by them to run scams, such as invoicing scams, where they will literally inject themselves into an email thread where people may be discussing some kind of a contract or a purchase. They'll inject themselves and they'll say, when you send out that payment, wire it to this account number instead.
Right.
We've got a new account and we'd like you to pay that. And that'll just slip right into the conversation that's already been taking place, and everybody's already familiar with it. They see that, and then bang, and money gets redirected to the wrong people.
Yeah.
And somebody gets taken for a ride. That is much more common than these ransomware attacks that we hear about.
That's true.
It happens all the time, and that's another thing that can be saved if you have two-factor on your access to a mailbox.
Right. And don't use the same passwords.
And don't use the same password for everything and all of the usual advice.
Yeah.
So,
very good to let people know about this. Let's go to your calls. All of a sudden, we got 3 lines calling in here. Let's go to Jack in Torrington next. Hey, Jack, what's up?
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
I'm sure you've heard this one a million times, but I apparently wasn't listening at the right time. Ad blockers.
Yes.
I seem to be getting deluged more and more with these pop-up ads. You're in the middle of typing something and the thing pops up and disturbs you, and you'd like to throw the computer out the window. But that would be costly. So any suggestions?
Yeah, there's many I like the Brave browser for blocking ads.
Well, Brave browser will block ads inherently. I believe Vivaldi browser will too. For other browsers like Chrome or Edge or Firefox, I'm particularly recommending uBlock Origin as an extension that you install into the browser. But yeah, there are a lot of options.
Yeah. So we'll give you some links to the Brave the browsers, the Brave and the Vivaldi.
Vivaldi.
I haven't seen that one. And the plugins that Dennis mentioned, so you can go ahead and try it. Some of your websites you go to may not let you go anymore because you're blocking ads.
Yeah, and you'll get the site will tell you, yeah, you have your ad blocker on. Well, if it weren't for the fact that the ads are all, socked with malware and garbage,
right,
maybe I wouldn't mind seeing your advertising. So, can maybe guys clean up your site?
That'd be a good thing. Dennis isn't salty this morning, is he?
So I guess you guys are recommending Brave, huh?
I like Brave. Yeah, it's a fine little browser. It works for most sites. You can also use DuckDuckGo. They actually help too with some of that blocking. Lots of ways to do it.
Yeah, I typically use Edge. That's what I've been using for a long time.
And of all the browsers we tell you not to use, that'd be the number one.
That's the one, right?
Yep.
So I can switch to Brave without too much difficulty, I assume.
Yeah. When you install it, it'll import, your bookmarks and other information from whichever browser you want, and you can just go from there.
Then you'll be nagged by Microsoft for the rest of your life to say, hey, did you know you don't have Edge as your default browser? Would you like to make it your default browser?
Well, that's pretty typical of Microsoft. So
it sure is.
Anyhow, guys, I think that's a good start for me, and I thank you very much.
You're welcome, Jack. Good luck.
Take care.
All right,
bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Ad blockers. Yeah, you're kind of right, Dennis. I mean, there's some ads, like if you're on social media or what have you, as far as I'm concerned, those ads tend to be better, more geared to you in a better way than regular browsing ads, especially on news sites. The news sites ads that pop up are just awful. Don't even make any sense. Let's go on we're going to Kathleen here in Rocky Hill. What's on, Kathleen?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay, but a little upset. Don't know what happened. Okay. We have a desktop. It's an HP desktop, and a Brother printer, scanner, and fax machine. When we used to go to, for example, if I'm trying to print something from the Hartford Current, I would just click on the document, hit print, a window would come up and, ask you how you want to print it, both sides, whatever, and then hit print, and it would go directly to the printer and print. Now, when we hit print, a window comes up in the upper left telling us we have to download or we have to put the document in a file. And I have no idea what happened. Maybe you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
It no longer sees your printer.
What's happened is that your default printer in the application that you're using, it has switched from whatever printer you were using before to save as PDF.
Yeah.
Save as PDF is really a virtual printer, and instead of generating a page that comes out of a printer, it creates the PDF. All you have to do is click on that dialog and open up the list of printers that are available in the program, and then select the one you want.
Okay, hold on. My husband's on the line. He's the one who's been trying to work with this.
All right.
So if you could just explain that to him, I would be in your debt.
This is classic, right? The wife calls for directions.
Yeah, because my husband doesn't do this
the man
very
won't
well.
ask.
You're gonna understand when you talk to him. He doesn't like stuff like this.
I hear you.
But anyway,
we don't either.
Okay, here he is. His name's Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Hi. How are you?
Pretty good. When you open up your print dialog, and I assume you're doing this in a browser like Chrome or Firefox or something like that?
We have Yahoo, and our operating system is Windows 11.
Okay. Well, when you open up the print dialog with whatever you're using, there's going to be a line called Destination. And then there should be a pick list that you can click on.
Let's see. All right. I guess I'm not understanding when you say open up the dialogue.
All right. When you set up the print, and it's showing you what it's going to print and where it's going to go, there is at the top of the dialogue is a destination.
Hold on. I will try it.
Mm-hmm.
I just lost it.
The great thing about Dennis is he describes all the actual aspects of what this is. You know, I wouldn't call it a dialogue, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, we appreciate this because you get the message that we're a little bit challenged.
It's okay.
But,
when you go to
we all are.
When you go to print, you're going to pick the doohickey that says destination, and you're going to choose
so what
the
you're saying is
option.
when you go to print, as soon as we hit print,
Yes.
that's when that strange window comes up that says
Known as the dialogue.
That's the dialogue.
Yes.
So in that window is where he's looking for
A destination.
Yes.
Destination. Do you know where in that window? Left-hand side, bottom right?
Usually the top right. It's the most obvious
Top
thing.
right
Yeah.
most of the time, but it could be anywhere. But you just look for that.
Look
right
for
now.
destination in that new window that's been popping up when we try to print something.
Right.
Yes.
'Cause it's
I'm
asking
going to
you.
do it right now. I'm hitting
All right.
print.
Yep. Drum roll.
Okay, and over on the left-hand, come on, this stupid thing. Over on the left-hand side, it says print one sheet, printer, Microsoft Print PDF.
All right.
Right there.
Where it says printer,
Yeah.
there should be a pick list next to that.
Ability to choose.
And you should be able to click on that and then change it from Microsoft
PDF.
Print to PDF
Right.
to whatever printer you're going to use.
The brother.
The brother printer.
Microsoft Print to PDF.
Yeah, we don't
You're
want
gonna
that.
you don't want that. What you're going to do is click on the pick list that is next to that. Or
Now, is that a
you're going to
drop
click
down?
on those
Yes.
words, a drop down.
Okay,
yes.
it's a drop down. So there's an
Yep,
arrow.
I got the
Michael.
drop down. It
Yeah.
says OneNote, desktop protected, Microsoft Print to PDF, add a printer. That's it.
Ah.
So you hit add a printer.
No, yeah, you lost your printer. Your machine
I-
doesn't see it. Ah, well, you got a printer, sir, but you don't.
do.
Microsoft Windows doesn't know you got a printer.
You
Okay,
might
I
have
got
to
it.
click add
Came
a
up,
printer.
It says
Yeah.
add device. I'm going to do that.
There you go.
Or you might click on where it says see more. If you see that.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna put you on hold. You're gonna try to add your printer. We're gonna put you on hold because we have to talk to you about how to add a printer. All right? Because we gotta go to a break.
Okay.
Put you on. We're not leaving you. We're just gonna put you on hold for a second.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
You're right.
Okay.
Hang on. We'll be right back.
No matter what you drive, having the right tire matters. So take control with a new set of Bridgestone tires from Town Fair Tire. You'll choose from the area's largest selection of Bridgestone tires, and you'll get the Bridgestone tire you need at the guaranteed lowest price. Plus, Town Fair will give you more free services than all other tire dealers, clubs, or online sites. Nobody beats a Town Fair tire deal. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Tune in to How to Retire with Fuchs Financial.
The main thing for the majority of the listeners out there who are approaching retirement is I don't want to be surprised.
Helping you build, preserve, and manage your wealth.
So you've got Roth IRAs, you have individual accounts. Finding the right taxable strategy, that's going to be huge for you.
Tune in to How to Retire with Ben Fuchs, Sundays at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-352-9239. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-352-9239. 800-352-9239 or biglou.com.
Brian Shackman here for QC Kinetics. Is that knee, hip, or shoulder pain just not getting any better?
Maybe you're stuck in a cycle of steroid shots. Now they're talking about surgery. Before you go down that road, hit the pause button for a second and listen. Because if you want relief without more meds, without going under the knife, call QC Kinetics. They are the nation's leaders in regenerative medicine, using treatments like advanced cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma, all designed to actually help your body heal itself. No Band-Aids, no masking the pain. This goes to the root of the problem. These cellular treatments contain growth factors and healing properties to maximize your body's ability to heal itself. The first consultation is totally free, so you can make an informed decision on your own with no pressure. It doesn't cost anything to learn more for something that could be life-changing for you. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation at 860-440-PAIN. Again, that's 860-440-PAIN. They have locations in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury, so you know it's probably pretty close to you. QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN.
All right, so we are on with Michael and Kathleen as they.
Listen.
Hey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. It says that the printer status is idle.
Hey.
Oh, that's fine. It means it's talking to it. It knows it's alive, but it's not doing anything, obviously, because you're not printing right now. So.
Well, I tried to print, and it goes to asks me to put in a file.
Wait, did you choose the printer, or did you choose the file again?
Yeah.
No, I chose I've got the document list here. I've done this about a half a dozen times already, trying to add the printer back. I mean, it was working fine. All of a sudden, it stopped working.
All of a sudden, I know. So, yeah, you should be. Go ahead, Kathleen.
He had a window that said PDF, add a printer, and when he clicked on it, he saw our printer, you know, the model number.
Yeah.
I don't know what you did from there, Michael, but I thought you were waiting to talk to them and then just hit it.
Well, I've already done that. So I'm back to add a device, add a printer or scanner, so I can click on add a device.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, you want to say okay or apply. You want to make it happen.
Yep.
All right. Now, is that the choice now?
No, I've got sign in to your work or school account to find printers. The printer that I want isn't listed. It is.
All right. I don't know about signing in to add printers. That's not a thing.
No.
It says refresh.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what program you're using. I know you're going to Yahoo Init, but are you using the beach ball? Are you using Edge, the little blue wave?
Yes, Edge, I believe, is the little blue wave. That's also.
All right. Mm-hmm. So you're in Edge. Hold on a second.
You know what you can do too. Go ahead, Dennis.
Well, no.
Do you have a Word doc? Any kind of Word editor? Any kind of other program besides what you're using here to print these articles?
No, because that's basically all we've been printing is articles from the paper.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I've never had an issue with just printing. All of a sudden, I get this.
Yeah, we
know the all of a sudden. Our life is all of a sudden. So trust me.
Exactly. I know. I wish we stopped.
Bring up don't. It's cool. It's fine. If you bring up another application that might print, my point is here, we want to get your printer working with another application just to see that we can get it to communicate with your computer. That's my thought. Dennis is going to look at the Edge to see why it's disconnected. Somehow, your computer is not quite fully seeing this printer. It should see it by default. And we know it's there. It showed as idle. And the fact that it shows
it says idle, and as I said, I've been fooling around with this thing for 3 days now.
Okay, so if we were to get out of the current, let's say, he's in his email. That's how, he brings it up on the homepage. And we were to go to Word, and, where we've saved a bunch of documents.
Right.
You're saying try to print something from that.
Yes. Right. See if you can choose that printer. See if the dialogue comes out, and if it comes up as saying, again, print a file, you're back in the same boat. There's something up with how your printer is configured. But go ahead, Dennis. You have another idea?
No, I was going to.
All right, same idea. There's something disconnected about that's happened.
And I know you're probably getting close to needing to finish the program. So
sadly.
Yeah, no, I wished I had called sooner. So what we can do right now is I understand most of what you said. Mm-hmm. We can try it, and if not, I'm going to call you again next week.
Well, there's another idea, too, that you can do, because you've been trying this thing for the past 3 days, and the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. So the make and model was a Brother AI all-in-one what?
It's a Brother printer scanner fax.
Yeah, what's the model number?
MFC-L2750DW.
Okay, NFC dash...
MFC, C is in Charles,
dash
L2750DW.
All right, we're going to try to find the actual software to install that. So you can go ahead to Brother itself, download the installer software, and see if it can help you.
Yeah, I did that already.
All right, and no luck?
Nope.
Could you even print a test page?
I went to the Brothers, I Googled Brothers, I went to brothers.com.
Yeah.
And I listed the printer.
Yep.
And then it said download software. I've got a driver disk, but they said it's outdated, so I was going to download it off the website, which I did.
Yep.
And it wouldn't install.
All right, so we're going to find the right link for you, I hope, Michael. But we're going to let you go, and we will be here next Saturday. But
okay.
We're close. Do you have a 15-year-old in the neighborhood?
Yeah, but they're all working. They don't want anything to do with us. But
no, they're not working. All right, I want to thank you all, you guys, for joining us on this show today. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Mike G. And as Dennis would say, we want you to be a geek, too. We'll be right back. See you next Saturday.
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. So when you've spent too much on a night out, get deals on the after party. When you've got date night, get deals on favorites that'll make you their favorite. And when you've got family for the weekend, we've got breakfast.
Having options tastes better. Enjoy a refreshing Coke Zero included in either the $5 hot and spicy McChicken meal deal or the $6 McDouble meal deal. Price and participation may vary. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, Joe, what happened to your teeth? They look amazing.
Oh, you know, years of root canals, crowns, gum treatments. I got tired of it all. So